Hello and welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot enthusiast, and professional witch, and today I'm talking about the Unabashed Pumpkin Trash Tarot Spread. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. If you love the show, the best way to support it for free is by listening daily, leaving a review, and subscribing or following in your favorite podcast app. If you love the podcast and want to support it further and join our community, you can join the Everyday Tarot Patreon family. There are various benefits, but some include getting an individual card pulled for you once a month, getting a one-time 5-card reading spread, or getting behind-the-scenes updates and information or sneak peeks as to what seasonal topics are coming up next, and all sorts of things behind the scenes. I recently recorded an hour-long video episodes. I do these every new moon, and we just welcomed in the latest new moon on October 21st, 2025. So this is like a bonus episode of the Everyday Tarot podcast done on video. So you can check out the new moon where I do a collective tarot reading replay if you weren't able to join me live. And these are always up on my YouTube, which is Camille A. Saunders YouTube channel. And I usually also post them to Instagram Reels as well, so you can watch them later. As a bonus for the Queer Joy Summit that wrapped up recently, I created a Queer Coven Spooky Tarot spread, and this was special for Queer Joy Summit goers, but I wanted to give other folks a chance to grab it if you weren't a part of the summit. So it is a Halloween and queer themed 6-card spread. So you can go ahead and grab the full spread with PDF and all the prompts about it in the show notes. I also have posted it on my Instagram. You can get it from my stories or from my link tree if you want to grab that now, since we're in spooky season. I was recently on Kayla Moore's Connected Pleasure podcast, and it was super fun. We talked all about living by the body, dreaming of land, and weaving the future. Kayla Moore is another witch, and she's a certified sex therapist, and we love to talk all things between those interests, our witchiness. We talked a lot about my land that I moved onto recently, and actually I got to host Kayla on my land. I had a housewarming party over the weekend, so some of my friends and colleagues got to come and actually experience the land, and boy was it an experience, because I don't know if anyone else lives in the Seattle, Portland, Greater Puget Sound area, but it was extremely stormy. There were trees that came down on my property. We lost power for 8 hours, but it was such a vibe. Like, it was just me, all my friends, and like witches hanging out, mostly in the dark, with candles and some lights and good food and candy and snacks, and just like watching the storm happen outside as we connected and reflected and got to know each other more. So I felt very grateful for that. And if you like the podcast, right, if you listen to our episode, definitely check out more of Kayla's Connected Pleasure podcast, or if you're interested in working with them one-on-one, you can find them at connectedpleasurecoaching.com. I am looking for more guests to be on my podcast, so if you're interested or you know someone that might be a good fit, please send them my way or fill out the form to be a guest on my podcast. It's just a Google form, gives me a general idea, gets all of your links and things that you might want to share on the podcast. And I'm trying to do a whole season of guests. I have, I think, 5 guests lined up or already recorded or on the schedule right now. So of course, for my 13 episode season, that means I still need 8 more. So please send those to any other witchy folks or yourself if you're interested in talking about tarot. You don't have to be an expert. Definitely not. I just love talking about tarot with other folks and how they got into it. So if that sounds fun, or if you know someone that you would love to hear interviewed on my podcast, you can send me their contact info or where you found them, and I'll go ahead and reach out if that is easier. If you want to work with me more directly and perhaps you don't live local to me, you can join my Tarot for Transformation workshops that are kicking off in 2026. Starting in January, we're going to be deep diving the first 12 of the major arcana cards all together as we embody archetypes and learn how to transform ourselves through the tarot. So January, of course, we'll be starting with the Fool. I have the interest list is linked in the show notes where you can get some details. Once you're on that list, I'll be sending you more info as well about, when are call times, what are the replays going to look like, what workbooks are you going to get, what to expect on calls, how to incorporate these folks into your lives, these archetypes. I'm so excited to dress up and talk color magic and glamour and goals and how we think about each card each month. So get excited for 2026. If you don't already know, I am a sex and relationships therapist and coach, seeing individual and relational clients virtually all over from my home office. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients. So if you'd like to work with someone that doesn't judge you, is witchy just like you, and helps you learn how to deal with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex, head to my website and book a free consultation now to start your journey. You can find me at CamilleASaunders.com. Maybe you've heard me talk about crafting or creating your own tarot cards before, and you're like, Camille, I do not have the art skills for that. I've seen tarot decks. They are elaborate and beautiful. Well, no worries. I love to create my own tarot cards with collage. So no art skills necessary, maybe using scissors and a glue stick necessary, but you can get my full workshop where I do an hour-long workshop on my step-by-step method for how to make tarot cards, the supplies I like to use. So I'll give you my supplies list, which most everything can be found at the dollar store, examples of tarot cards I've created, journaling questions to help, help you brainstorm or figure out how you want to create your cards, and a PDF to walk you all through it for just $33. So click on the link in the show notes to grab that now. This is a great time to grab this workshop for the sort of, as I go into the fall, winter, dreary, cold season where I'm definitely be doing a lot more crafting, a lot of indoor activities, some doing things in the evenings that aren't as blue light intensive. So of course, if you watch the recording, that will be on a computer or your phone, so you will have blue light for that. But once you've learned the method, you can do it all on your own. You can do it while you watch scary movies or holiday movies or anything you want. It's pretty low key, but I just want to empower you that you actually can make your own tarot cards. And if you create a whole deck, you can laminate them, which is a thing that I have a friend that does that, as a way that way you can shuffle them and you're not losing pieces or anything, since they are just used a glue stick to keep them on. But yeah, so I would love to share that with you. If you want to get my 2025 5-card tarot spread that I created just for you, my lovely listeners, at the beginning of the year, it's not too late. You can get that by joining my newsletter list. My weekly newsletter always has the most up-to-date info on upcoming events, presentations, musings, latest podcast episodes, and info and photos of my day-to-day life on there. If you're local and you want to meet me in person, you can always come to my Let's Talk Tarot meetup group. Our next events are celebrating full moons. I'm holding full moon women's circles for the rest of 2025. So you can join my colleague Izzy and I under the glow of the full moon for an evening of connection, reflection, and ritual. We meet at Thresholds Collective in Tacoma. We're in a lovely yoga studio room. So we get to hang out on yoga mats on the floor with bolsters, and we set up an altar, and we just get to be in a literal circle together. We do that the first Sunday of every month to welcome in the full moon. So the next one is coming up on November 2nd, this Sunday, and then our final one for the year will be December 7th. They start at 5:30 p.m. We go 90 minutes, and we do all types of things. We usually do a guided meditation, an introduction, an astrological update to talk about the full moon and what kind of energy it's giving us for the coming month, what to expect. We usually then I do a collective tarot reading. Then we usually pull cards individually, maybe with a spread or just kind of with a theme. We usually do a lot of sharing with that, maybe some journaling. Then we move into an embodiment practice or a somatic practice, which could be like dance or art or yoga poses or anything like that. And then usually we end with a ritual of either writing down things we want to release or manifest, depending on the energy of the full moon. And we burn them in a tiny mini cast iron cauldron that I have outside as we kind of close our circle together. So if that sounds fun and you're local to me, you can go ahead and grab tickets now. We would love to see you this Sunday. We would love to see you in December. Tickets are already up for both of those events, so we would love to see you there. And you can find the links for any of these offers, of course, in the show notes or on my website, CamilleSaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull on each episode. So again, welcome to season 17, where I'm talking all about autumn tarot spreads. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can check those out. I've talked tarot basics, I've talked tarot pop culture. In season 5, I went through 13 common tarot spreads. So if you want more, all year round tarot spreads, or ones that are more common or easier to start with, you can go there. And of course, this is like autumnal tarot spreads, so we're very season specific, but you can always apply them at other times as well. I've also talked tarot and plant allies, tarot and animals, frequently asked questions, tarot and crystals, and the last season I wrapped up was talking all about queer deities in tarot and what tarot cards they embody. So very fun and quite a variety. And today I'm talking about an amazing titled spread, the Unabashed Pumpkin Trash Tarot Spread by Evie at Interrobang Tarot. So if you listen to all the other episodes this season, I already did a tarot spread from Interrobang Tarot previously, but this one, it says Unabashed Pumpkin Trash Tarot Spread for achieving maximum autumnal enjoyment. Mass marketers and femme-phobic fun suckers be damned. So it is a 4-card spread. We're going to be talking about the sugar, the spice, the everything nice, and the haters can go suck a pumpkin. Those are our 4 prompts is the right word, and I'll give a little bit more context for those as we go. And there are different variations as well. So I'll link to their blog or their article for this spread where you can hear a bit more about what how they created this spread. I'm just trying to decide what deck I'm gonna grab. I think we'll go with just my classic Sasorabito Tarot Spread by Stasia Burrington. This was my first deck. Actually, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry. We're going to do the Anima Mundi Tarot by Megan Wyverwind, and that one's calling to me right now. So I'm going to do 3 shuffles. I'll split the deck, and then we'll get into our 4-card spread. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay all my cards out now. So it goes in an interesting, so it has a pumpkin behind it in like the spread image. I don't know why I needed to do another shuffle, but anyway. Okay, we're cutting the deck. So the first card goes at the top, the second card goes on the left, the third card goes on the right, and the 4 goes at the bottom. So it is not clockwise or counterclockwise. It goes like in a triangle and then at the bottom. Okay, and then I like to flip over one at a time with the prompt. So for our sugar. Interesting. Okay, so the sugar again is where or when to be sweet. And again, we're talking about for our maximum autumnal enjoyment for this time of year. And I pulled the 2 of Swords reversed, which off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't know what that's about. So if we talk about the reversal, so upright, the 2 of Swords is being stuck, a difficult decision, being afraid to proceed, but reversed, it's about difficult decisions, painful revelations, betrayal, emotional and mental turmoil. Interesting. So again, I feel like for me, this is like about burnout, which is that like there's painful revelations, there's some turmoil, but actually like this is where I need to be like nice to myself or like gentle or be like, it's okay. Like we're having a hard time and that's okay. In the past week, whenever people ask me how I am, I'm like, I'm okay. Or it's like, I'm burned out. And that's where I'm at right now. So I feel like for me, that feels pretty clear. For you, maybe it feels less clear, but if there's somewhere that you feel like you're making difficult decisions or painful revelations, again, as a therapist this time of year, I do a lot of talking with clients about how to prepare for holidays and holiday expectations and family or family of origin, maybe challenges. So I feel like this is also kind of coming up for me of being like, how do you make those decisions, right? How do you protect yourself and your own emotional well-being, sometimes over the feelings of other people? So yeah, I feel like that's what's coming up right now. Okay, number 2, which is the card on the left, is our spice, which means when or where we need to be brutally honest, even if it makes people uncomfortable. Judgment. That's what I pulled. Hilarious. Okay, judgment depicts in this deck a golden eagle or Aquila Christeos in Latin. You are drawing close to the start of something new, a rebirth of some sort. But in order for that to happen, a period of reflection and reevaluation is required. I'm just like, all these cards are hilarious to me today. Take this time to look back on your past, purge yourself of past deeds, and move on to bigger and better things. So upright judgment is about judgment, new potential, rebirth, epiphany, and absolution. Yeah, that's where the brutally honest, right? Even if it makes people uncomfortable part comes in. Like I said, maybe for you, this is about making decisions about the holidays or kind of like where you're putting your energy right now, stuff you're saying no to, right? Even if it makes people uncomfortable. But yeah, for me right now, it's saying like, it's okay, right? Things are ending. We are in reflection and reevaluation right now. Like we don't have to make decisions yet. We are just sitting in that kind of liminal space of, okay, I'm looking back on things that have happened. I'm starting to think about how I might do things right in 2026. That's where I'm at, where I'm like, yeah, maybe in like 2 months, I'll be ready to do some new things again. So yeah, take the time to look back on your past, purge yourself of past deeds, and move on to bigger and better things. I feel like that's perfect there. This is a very clear reading today. Okay, so card 3, which is on the right, is everything nice, something to enjoy with greater gusto and zero fucks is what it says. All right, and for that, I pulled the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like I've pulled this recently. Oh, I flipped right to it. Okay, the Page of Pentacles. So upright, it shows an eastern gray squirrel. It's like sitting on a stump eating a nut in a woodland. It says the Page of Pentacles indicate you have big dreams and a strong, enthusiastic desire to make them come true. Perhaps you are starting a new project or a job. To achieve your goals, approach your tasks pragmatically and keep your feet on the ground. So if this was upright, it would be about dreams, enthusiasm, opportunity, new goals, and learning, right? And reversed, right, which is our thing that we're supposed to enjoy with greater gusto, is a lack of commitment, complacency, impatience, and focus on short-term goals. So right off the top of my head, I'm like, it's a little confusing, but I would say, right, what we're doing is, again, we're like leaning into that we're not committing to anything right now and that that's okay. We are leaning into a bit of comfort and complacency. We are leaning into the fact that we might feel impatient right now, but that doesn't mean that we need to make any big decisions or change anything right now. And actually, we are focusing on short-term goals, right? We are like, I am trying to survive until the next holiday, right? Trying to survive until we get time off, right? Or I'm trying to make it through to the end of 2026 with doing the bare minimum, right? Like that's kind of where I'm at. And of course, maybe you don't want to hear this from me, who's talking about this on a podcast that I definitely don't have to do, but that I've committed to do and that I enjoy doing. But yeah, I feel like that is kind of this lesson today is like, actually, this is about It's okay to not be committed right now or not knowing the long-term goals. It's okay to feel a bit complacent, even though normally we are told that's not okay. It's okay to feel impatience and to not act on it. And it's okay actually to have short-term goals. Like, that's okay. We don't need to think long-term right now, or we can, again, imagine a better future for ourselves later on. Right now we're reflecting, right? This is Samhain, this is Halloween, this is Day of the Dead time of year. This is all about the veil is thin, the grief is high, the ancestors are chatty, and the veil is thin. And so, right, also maybe the short-term goals are like, again, like make a cute costume for Halloween, or again, like go outside once a day. We can have short-term goals, and that's okay. All right, finally, number 4 card, which is at the bottom. Fascinating. I pulled the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and this is the haters can go suck a pumpkin. This is strategies for boundary setting with baseless critics, fun suckers, and femme-phobic pleasure police. I love the like alliteration in this. Okay. So the Ace of Pentacles, right? Generally a card of beginnings, opportunities, abundance, vitality, plenty of opportunities to achieve wealth, not only in financial sense, but a holistic one as well. Usually upright about new beginnings, health, vitality, prosperity, manifestation of goals. So our strategy for boundary setting with critics, fun suckers, and pleasure police is, in reversed, financial worry, greed, corruption, and unsound investments is what this says. So I'm going to interpret that as, again, so upright, this would be about abundance, vitality, a lot of opportunities to achieve wealth. I feel like this is about, it's okay to worry. It's okay to name greed and corruption, again, big this time of year, or sort of the like mass marketing, right? If you've been in any store of any kind in the last 2 months, you have seen the mass marketing that is happening of the various holidays. It's like full Christmas at Home Depot and many other places right now, even though like we're not even done with October. And also, right, the last one on here is unsound investments, right? So I think our strategies for boundary setting, right, for ourselves is like, actually, it's okay to worry, right? To an extent, I think right now, right, again, especially because of where we're at politically, at least in the US, lots of people are worried about food stamps and how do we support people? How do we support ourselves as grocery prices might increase and folks are going to lose access to food, right? We actually have to think about where are we investing our time and energy and money, and where are we not doing that, right? This is our own boundary setting again, right? Which for me is like, yeah, there are some corporations that I am not investing my money in any way, shape, or form because they contribute to this cycle of putting people in debt, in food scarcity, in food deserts, in places like that. And, right, I am choosing sound investments, which is maybe not the traditional investment of like putting it in the stock market. Maybe it's literally putting it right in my garden or sharing seeds or, right, prepping your own food or prepping for your community, by getting sales now when food is on sale, especially again around some holidays, especially Thanksgiving. Turkeys go on sale afterwards, stuff like that. Like, let's be strategic. Let's, right, support our communities. And it's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with worrying about the financial well-being of yourself or others. It's okay. You don't have to pretend that that's not happening. And, right, like, we are going to strategically do things about that, right? We don't have to live we are not at the mercy of what our government says we can and cannot do. in my opinion. It is very limiting. And, right, we can choose to work outside the system, like with things like food stamps, that we can still provide for our community and for people that need food, that we don't actually have to do it in the way it's been done before, in the way that the system wants us to do it. Sometimes we can do it in the ways that actually might work better for people and actually might mean that there's community and a responsibility, right, to our community to make sure that everyone is well fed and safe and dry and warm, and that is going to look, it's going to be challenging, and, right, it's going to be rewarding, that we don't have to just like sit back and watch what's happening and be angry about it. Let's strategically, again, set boundaries with people that are making things harder for people. We are not working with them. We are not talking to them. We are cutting perhaps people or corporations out of our lives, and we are meeting our community where it's at and what it needs right now. Okay, again, I went on a rant, but thank you for coming to the Unabashed Pumpkin Trash Tarot spread. I probably would not have gotten into this serious energy if this wasn't a serious spread, and I love it. It's lighthearted and serious, right? That is also this time of year. It's lighthearted, and that we get to dress up and maybe, right, pretend we're things that we're not, or try on an archetype or a mask or a monster identity for a bit. We get to eat delicious sugary candy unabashedly and cheaper than other times of year. And, right, again, this is the same time of year that the veil is thin. The ancestors are talking and trying to communicate, and things feel heavy, right? Grief is upon us, like elections are upon us, at least in the US, for midterms and different things like that, that it's okay to like have all of that at once. The sugar, the spice, the everything nice. With the spread. So thanks to Interrobang Tarot, Evie, there for this lovely spread. And again, I used the Anima Mundi Tarot deck by Megan Weirer-Wendon. I got this deck in Salem, Massachusetts when I was there a couple years ago, because I really wanted a deck to remember my time there, and I love this one. Yeah. And we'll wrap up for today. So if you'd like to join me on the journey of using the tarot for transformation, click on the link in the show notes to indicate your interest, and I'll give you more info. All right, the links for the tarot decks I talk about will always be in the show notes and on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday, for all of 2025. You can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com, with your thoughts, questions, and more. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.